time to sleep. So realize at the end of the day, this person has been eating. They have had 3 meals a day, maybe they have had snacks, and these meals maybe had fats, a lot of sugar, a lot of calories, but they have not burnt these calories. All these calories are going to stay in the body, okay? And the body has mechanisms that whenever you take maybe excess of anything, it converts it. And one of the things it converts it into is fat. So you're going to have a lot of fat accumulating in the body simply because of your lifestyle. Okay?
Sedentary
lifestyle. You're less active. You eat a lot of sugar, a lot of fat, a lot of calories, but you're not burning them. So partly that's how obesity comes about. So that's it for the environment factors. However, there's some other factors like the cultural factors. Okay, cultural factors. Realize that in our settings here, when someone is big, when someone seems, overweight, people take it that person is doing well socioeconomically.
It's a big perception, the public. And of course, people believe, even if actually we went to the party right now, and of course we are all putting on suits, for example, and you were very well fit in the suit, you're energetic with your potbelly, they may actually come in more than me who's slim, just like I'm very small.
Exactly. And some people say that, if someone has a politician in his stomach, so people are taking it that, if you have some weight on you, you're socially, economically are doing well, and somehow that in our setting here, when you compare our settings with the Western world, actually it's the opposite. In the Western world, if you find a Muzungu and you tell them, hey man, I think you're gaining weight, they don't perceive it the way we perceive it here. So in that way, our socio-economic status is affecting us and somehow leading our people into obesity. When it comes to our friends, the females, it's almost the same story. That for them, if a woman is married into a certain home and they are gaining weight, it will be assumed that they are very well taken care of, and they will appreciate that. But the opposite, if someone doesn't seem to be having very good kilograms, they will take it that, this person is not doing well. So in that sense, our socioeconomic status is also driving us into that. Then maybe another important factor that we seem to be skipping most of the time is the psychology. When people are stressed, much as sometimes they can actually lose weight and they seem slim, it's actually very possible for someone to gain weight when they are stressed, and this has been mostly attributed to overeating. So most times when people are stressed, they will tend to isolate, and usually they tend to overeat during those periods, and partly this is driving people into obesity. So if you analyze all these factors, you realize that the lifestyle that we live, okay, the things we eat, the activities we do, our perceptions are all driving us into obesity, and that's how our people are getting more obese and obese with time.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, for explaining to us the causes of obesity. Just like you've clarified on genetic factors, where people, most of them, they say, size yachika. Thank God we say there is always something we can do about that. However, obesity, just like you've said, is multifactorial, so it's usually accompanied by a lot of factors that, of course, most of these are modifiable.
Yes, very modified.
Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor. Of course, we are going for a short, quick break, but when we return, we shall discuss about the preventative strategies and, of course, the treatments that are available in Uganda, and, of course, who could be at the risk of getting obesity. See you shortly. Once again, you're most welcome from a short quick break. Just like I often ask you, did you take water? Did you take any fruit? Did you stretch up? Literally, we are fighting against obesity. That means you should do something for your health. You should love your body. You should love yourself. Of course, nobody will come and say, please love yourself, do this and do this. Just like we went for a break, we had earlier agreed that when you come back, we shall talk about the risk factors first. Who is at a risk of getting obesity except the genetic factorial? Except the genetics, who is at risk of getting the obesity?
Oh, thank you very much for that. So, except the genetics, those who are sedentary, okay, those who are sedentary are more at risk. In our setting
Let's
here,
explain more sedentary lifestyle. What does it mean actually?
okay, so like I earlier on hinted a little bit that sedentary lifestyle basically is to do with what you do. Okay, realize that as we get more urbanized, as we get more people attend school and get money and get more into the white collar jobs, they are doing more activities that don't require them to spend a lot of energy. So most of the people sit most of the time. They eat a lot of fat, they eat a lot of sugar, they are less physically active. Our grandparents used to go hunt for food, go plow the garden, go hunt, and they used to exercise. Our generation seems to be a little bit different, and somehow we realize that we are also doing the same to our children. Any person that gets money after they have attended some school, they don't want their children to go through the suffering. They'll have to drive their children home.
Is it suffering?
People they take it as if it's suffering. Okay, so that way we're getting more sedentary with time, and that's really driving us into obesity.
Today when I visited my friend, actually she's my mentor at FHI 360, so she asked me, did you come driving? I hate young youth who come driving because they are not protecting the future. They are not thinking about the future. It's like, no, I didn't come driving.
You see, actually our friends in the West, they are sort of taking a different route. That for them, they're actually now getting back to bicycles. Okay?
Exactly.
So
now bicycles are very expensive.
Running,
I saw a bicycle of this bike of 5 million.
You see?
It's like, wow, this is good.
And in our setting here, people so much treasure the car. They feel like if you have a car and you sit in it, you know you're well off. Yet actually, we are somehow putting ourselves at a risk of obesity. Daniel, I also wanted to talk about some of the what can go wrong if someone is obese, which disease condition.
Okay, let's first finish the risk factors.
Okay, so
that's like we've talked about the sedentary lifestyle, the people who junk a lot on the street foods and others.
Yeah. So also in our settings, women are more at risk compared to men.
Why?
Yes. So one of the reasons that is implicated, of course, naturally, women, their hormones make them more likely to keep fat. Okay, this is nature. But apart from that natural bit of it, our women are usually less active compared to men. Most of them stay at home to look after the children. They eat quite more than men. They are quite more sedentary. They actually spend most of the time watching TV, so that puts them at risk. And also, like earlier on hinted on, is that in our settings here, we find it that our women, people sort of prefer that women they seem bigger because it portrays a good socioeconomic status, and any man would want their woman to look nice. Actually, they take it that if the bigger you are, the nicer you look. The nicer you look. So somehow that is also driving us into that. And also another important factor that comes into play is the factor of age. Age, yes. Much as we are starting to see some children, young ones, getting obesity, but it's quite common in the elderly, around 55 years to 65 years. They usually tend to be quite more obese, and also those who are psychologically stressed. So basically, it's quite a number of factors. Yes, it's quite a number of factors. Right from the age, the sex, the lifestyle, the social cultural factors, quite a number of factors.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Just like you had earlier said, even the environment plays a key role. By the way, I've just realized that the environment which you stay in, the social group, determines how you're likely to eat of recent. Now, obesity is really very, very dangerous. What hurts me is that most people have not yet embraced its effects and how bad it is. Let's dive into the complications. It seems people would fear it more.
Yes.
And of course, dear viewers, once again, I want to invite you to participate in our health talk show by sending us your question, your suggestion, experience, or if you are obese and you would like to have expert advice, please use the telephone numbers to send us text and WhatsApp, and shall be getting back to you.
Exactly. So, people who are obese, studies have shown that actually there are quite a number of diseases that they are more predisposed to by virtue of being obese. Okay, and almost most of the non-communicable diseases. Maybe if I'm to make non-communicable diseases a little simpler, there are these diseases that you get because of our lifestyle. There are diseases which you cannot spread to another person Okay, you realize that yes, you have communicable diseases and they're non-communicable. So there are diseases which you can easily spread to another person. We call those non-communicable. However, there are also diseases that you cannot transmit to another person. These are like diabetes, hypertension, stroke, heart diseases, kidney disease, and all that. So those diseases which are non-communicable, studies are showing that people who are obese or overweight, they're usually at an increased risk of those diseases. So if I'm to go through them, diseases like diabetes, okay, type 2 diabetes, diseases like hypertension, okay, heart diseases, stroke, and cancers. Okay, you know that there are quite a number of cancers that have been associated with obesity. Cancers almost starting from the esophagus, cancers of the ovaries, cancers of the breast, especially our ladies, postmenopausal women, they are more at risk of getting breast cancer because of being obese. So studies have shown that those who are obese, they usually have a high risk of getting those ovarian cancers. And breast cancer, also endometrial cancer. Okay, this cancer affects the uterus. Patients who are more obese are at increased risk of getting these cancers. Also, almost most of the cancer, at least there's some predisposition when someone is obese.
Okay.
So quite a number of diseases really, but most of the non-communicable diseases and cancers, there's some risk when you're obese, so you're more at risk. If I'm to describe how basically this happens, for instance, for the cardiovascular diseases, you realize that when someone is obese and they're having too much fat, most of this fat is kept into the body. Okay, and one of the places where this fat can actually go is the blood vessels. Now I want you to imagine if you had this blood vessel that had no fat, and now you start to accumulate fat. Okay, most of this fat gets into the blood vessel. So a blood vessel which was big as this, it will start to narrow because fat takes up most of the space. So that means that this blood vessel which was carrying maybe 1 liter of blood will not be able to carry that 1 liter of blood, and as a result there's so many other complications which are possible. When it comes to the heart, for instance, of course the heart much as it's the one which pumps blood to all these other body parts, but the heart is also supplied by blood vessels. So most of these blood vessels which supply the heart are also at risk of that process called atherosclerosis. It's a medical term to mean fat accumulation in the blood vessels reducing to the diameter. So these people can easily get heart attacks, they can easily get conditions like myocardial infarction, ischemic heart disease and all that, and sometimes they can easily get sudden death, quite unfortunate. So obesity is really a bad thing that we should fight with all our might because it puts us at risk of many diseases. Another important disease I want to talk about is joint diseases. So when someone is obese, of course, remember we have a skeleton with bones, supposed to give us this shape and also support us. So if you're 75 and your bones are supporting you very well and you're really good, and then maybe in 2-3 months you gain more 10 kilograms. In another maybe 2-3 months you gain more 10 kilograms. You're going to be exerting much more weight on this same skeleton, same small bones. You're adding a lot of weight onto them. So it's very possible that these bones may not be able to support all this weight. And as a result, there's some diseases which you're more predisposed to. For instance, like osteoarthritis. So you find that some of the people who are obese actually, they complain of joint pains. Okay, they're having joint pains simply because they're exerting too much weight onto these joints. They can easily get that osteoarthritis and it can cause a problem. So there are quite a number of diseases really. Sometimes they get sleep problems. People who are obese, they don't usually have quality sleep. They actually snore. Okay, they actually snore a lot.
I fear people who snore.
You don't have to fear them. You just have to understand the mechanism by which it happens. So these people actually snore. They don't have quality sleep.
The moment you start snoring,
yeah. So there's sometimes also the ear, nose, and throat problems are quite common in these people. Even socially, much as yes, in our communities we seemingly put a lot of treasure to people who are overweight, but there are instances where they feel stigmatized, they feel less confident, they may not have the self-esteem. So it's quite a lot of things that these people who are obese that are predisposed to, and for that reason we need to do everything possible to ensure that we keep a healthy weight.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, for explaining about the complications. Of course, the complications can vary from man to women, and also depending on your body. So my complications may be different to your complications. That means that prevention is very key, that you shouldn't wait that so and so is obese and nothing has ever happened to them. that shouldn't make you reluctant and not mind about your health. It is also very important to note that obesity is it's non-ethnical, it's non-tribal. It can affect everyone. Don't just say, hey, it focuses on this region, it focuses on this region. No. Obesity comes as long as you are predisposed to it. Wow, the complications have been touching. Just beat in your chest and say, I want to reduce weight, I want to reduce weight, I want to reduce weight 3 times. And of course, you'll put it in your mind and start doing it. But what shocks me is that you see these obese people, these people who are very big. I have observed like 3 people actually in bigger meetings. They still eat a lot. That's 1. 2, they still take soda. You find they're carrying sodas with them. And they're also carrying with fast foods. You find big people standing, like now if you pass like in the mango market, if you pass in the Murago market, by 9:30 you find those big people and they are standing on the French fries stalls. They are all shrewdly waiting for these foods, and of course you ask yourself, wow. There's another complication about the leakage gut syndrome. These people actually, they normally get ulcers. Yes. And most of these people actually, they have ulcers, and ask yourself, why are these people having ulcers? Wow. Thank you so much. We can't ignore obesity in Uganda, and you have to pay attention to your weight so much. Now, let's dive into the preventative strategies. What could the public do? If you are genetically predisposed, how are you going to gain from this information? Let's begin with people who are genetically predisposed.
Thank you very much for that question. Now, the genetic predisposition, of course, like I already mentioned, that if one of the parents or both of them had obesity, chances are there that you can get obese. So it's quite important that you take the precautions way early enough. Okay. One of the things that I want our people to always do is that, 1, you should always visit a healthcare healthcare worker, even if you're not sick. Okay. Most of the people only come to hospital when they are sick. I've met a lot of people and ask them, do you know your weight? And they have no clue. Do you know your height? They have no clue. So that means they can't even measure their body mass index. Yet, some of the things are very simple. Okay, it's quite important that everybody knows their weight at any time. They know their height. We need to monitor our BMIs. Okay, if you know that you are at risk, it's important that at least you know your BMI. And if it's within normal, you do everything possible to keep it within the normal. If it's high, there are things which you can do. We are going to talk about them, so that you make sure that at least your BMI sort of, comes back to the normal. But the most important thing is we need to screen. Okay? Yes, you're healthy. That's perfectly good. You can take your BMI. At least we recommend that people should be taking their BMIs once a year. At least every year, you can take your BMI, keep in the know, make sure you know your kilograms. Okay? So that in case anything is to happen, you can prevent it before it happens. But on top of screening and knowing our BMIs at least yearly, we need to do physical exercises.
Every day.
Yeah, where possible, but at least we have recommendations. Okay, we at least prefer that within a week. It would be nice if you can at least do at least 75 minutes of moderate exercises. And at least 30 minutes of vigorous exercise that can make you sweat. Okay.
What are those exercises?
Yes, there are quite a number of them. You can jog. Okay, run around. You can join a gymming program. Okay, you can play football. You can do any activity as long as it can at least make you sweat. Some of these they might be hard to do them as an individual if you're just alone. However, it's important that you start to make groups. Okay, in your village, if maybe there can be like 5-10 people that you can link up with, and say that, you know what, every Saturday morning we shall run and maybe spend 2 hours of exercise. You can always get other people, people probably whom you relate with, your friends, your neighbors, your family. You can start onto these programs, do some physical exercises, make sure that it's a routine, make sure that it's regular, and keep it running over and over. That way it will really help. Okay. On top of the physical exercises, we need to watch our diet. Okay, our people, like we say that most of the time this obesity is associated with eating junk food, very sugary, high calorie, too much sugar, too much fat. So
and also late fooding. For example, people who are still preparing food at this time, and they want it at 11, at 10. I want to tell you, dear friends, that you are doing wrong, and whatever you are eating is not important to the body. So on my social media handles, I often put that stop eating, you are doing wrong. It's very dangerous. Actually, supper closes at 8 p.m.
Exactly. By the way, I really like the work you're doing, and I'm sure you're making great changes and great impact in people, and just keep doing that. So people should know what to eat, when, and how. Okay, so we need to observe our diet. Let's do a little less calorie. Okay, let's drink enough. Let's take the fruits and vegetables. Let's eat things which contain a lot of fiber. Okay, that way we shall be able to reduce on too much calories that we take, and we shall be able to keep up with our weights. But apart from the physical exercises and the feeding and also the screening, there's some other things which we need to advocate for instance at the policy level. Okay, realize that there's some things that we need to address, not as individuals, but maybe we need our people in the ministries or people in the decision-making bodies to come up with policies that can help our people know what to eat, know when to eat, regulate on some of the feeding habits. Realize that people just eat what they can afford at any time. Okay, people may not be able to. And also regulation of the advertising. Yes. Beverage company. Exactly. We want to mention the names here. Of course. But some of these need to be regulated so that we have like a policy that directs or guides us on what we should be eating, policies on physical activities, so that we can be able to address this challenge. Also, there are some things which we need to do at the social cultural level. Like we say that sometimes these things are embedded into our culture. Like people feel like if you're big and you have some weight, you're a good man, you're doing well socioeconomically, you're doing well. You are respected. Exactly. If your wife is big and is all mugged, they feel like the wife is very well taken care of. Some of the things, so some of the things we need to address them, of course, at a multi-level approach, but they also need to be addressed, and we need to come together, not just maybe the doctors alone, but we need everybody on board. The teachers should be there, the engineers, the lawyers, everybody should be on board, and together we can fight and go about this problem of obesity. Wow. Thank you so much. Of course, we are just close to the end. Now, before cross the end, do we talk about infertility and sexual reproductive health? Actually, that's also very, very just important. Just in 30 seconds, highlight about infertility, because I've seen very many people who are obese, they have that problem. Please, let me not interrupt it. Yes, so when someone is obese, the chances of infertility are quite high. There are some conditions that make ladies infertile. Of course, the conditions are many, okay, and we are not saying that obesity is the only one. There are quite a number of them. However, when someone is obese, the fertility is affected. There are conditions like a condition called PCOS. PCOS is an abbreviation to mean polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's one of the leading causes of infertility in women. But if you look at that condition, it's quite common among the obese people. Okay, but putting the PCOS aside, we earlier on talked about the cancers, the endometrial cancer. That cancer affects the endometrium, the cervix where the baby is grown. Things like ovarian cancer, and quite a number. So all these, they affect the reproductive system, and in that way, they affect fertility. So obesity and fertility, there is a strong association. And if you're having problems conceiving, or if you're obese and you're planning on conceiving, it's important that you watch your weight. If possible, make sure that you have a normal weight before you plan to conceive. And also, children who are born to obese mothers, first of all, those children themselves, they are at risk. Okay, there are conditions like macrosomia. Macrosomia is more like a big baby. So if a mother is obese, or maybe is having the diabetes, or the chances are high that they can actually produce a baby that has problems, okay? Even the congenital anomalies. So, obesity affects fertility, definitely. Wow. We can go on and on, yes, but definitely, obesity affects fertility. Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor. We really want to send our greetings to every person watching Good Television from all walks of life. We want to send our regards to Sarongo, to Kusima, Moti, and very many other people watching Google TV, Mildred, and others. We have a question.
I get hungry and I have a lot of appetite, but I'm in the category of obesity. Can I get away from this? How can I get away from this and become normal? Advice.
Wow, so someone is already obese and they keep getting hungry. So one of the things which can be dealt with in such a situation is, yes, when the hunger comes, what do you eat? What do you eat? You might find that somebody, yes, they are obese, they get hungry, but then what they usually start with is the snack, a high calorie food, something fatty, something sugary. So one of the best approaches for such a situation is to start with watching what you eat in such situations. Okay, and I think the best approach would be to have some time and have a discussion with a healthcare worker and also a nutritionist. They discuss with you what are some of the things that can be considered. For instance, for such a person, it would be nice they know their low calorie foods. Okay, they know the low calorie food, so that they prioritize them. They prioritize fruits. You realize that fruits don't have as much calorie as these other refined sugars and refined drinks, and so it will be good that this person takes something which so it's really a long process, but this person should sit with a nutritionist, they discuss, sit with a health worker, they discuss, and maybe they assess their body mass index, they find out how obese they are, they set a target of how they should reduce, and then they discuss on how it can be reduced. But it starts with watching what you eat, and also its quality, its quantity, and the frequency.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. And of course, let me just add something simple, is that one cause of every time you feel hungry is that the sugar cravings. Every time you take in sugar, take in processed products, the body will always ask you more, ask you more, ask you more.
Actually, people even get addicted to sodas.
Exactly.
People get addicted to sodas.
It's even in the street food, this person will tell you, I would not live without taking something like this. Yes. So kind of in one second, kind of say bye to our viewers.
Oh, wow. First of all, I want to thank you, Dan, for one, for having me and hosting me, and two, for the great work that you're doing. I have been a testimony of the work you do. I really appreciate you, and just keep up with that. I'm sure you're impacting a lot of lives, so just keep up with that work, and it's really impacting a lot of communities. To our dear viewers, thank you very much for keeping it with us up to this moment. I hope you've had some things to learn. I know some of you have a lot of questions. You can always address them to us. You can always reach out to Dan. You can always reach out to me on Twitter, on social media, all there. You can be able to address this. But as we go, I want all of us to watch our health, okay? Because health is the most precious thing. Health is the most beautiful thing that God has given us. So let us watch over our health. Let's make sure that we keep our health with utmost priority. Give it all the attention that it requires so that we keep healthy. Let's watch over our weights. Let's make sure that we keep a healthy weight so that we prevent so many of the diseases. Let's make sure that we exercise, do physical exercises, be regular about it. Don't start and stop, start and keep it up. Let's watch what we eat, okay? Let's do less of the too much calorie, but more of the low calorie diet. Let's drink a lot. Let's rest. Let's have enough rest and have enough sleep. Okay? Eat with family. Be friendly, and let's keep our health very, very well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, and of course for Google Day TV, I'm Kamara Daniel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.
TV, lighting your soul. Mu Uganda ekulaakulana bwe buli